Now, baby, listen, I don't want to be right all the time. I don't want to be right all the time, but I'm going to call him Eamon Kinslayer. Eamon Kinslayer. It was perfection, y'all. This review is spoiler filled, okay? My quick thoughts just ahead of the live tomorrow night at 8:05 Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be square. When I tell you it's the best House of the Dragon live on the YT, it is, y'all. Let's get right into this review without further ado.
Get it, don't be timid when you in it, apply that. Love up on it, give along, need it. I don't want no trip, baby, say it like
My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? Now, y'all, listen, we know what happened last episode, right? We are on the brink of war at this point. Alicent is standing on what she considers business, but she's standing on a lie. She's standing on a mountain of lies and deception, and she don't care who it takes out. That's just the diabolical nature of the person that we know as Alicent. Are we surprised? Absolutely not. But y'all, let's get right into this episode. This is House of the Dragon, Season 2, Episode 4, The Red Dragon and the Gold. Honey, Damon wakes up in Harrenhal having visions of a young Rhaenyra again. Okay. And someone had said it last week. I think it may have been during our live, that it's kind of sick and twisted that he keeps seeing young Rhaenyra. But in this vision or dream, okay, she basically tells Damon the whole truth completely. All right. It was all good and cute before, but now it's like, you made me who I am, Damon, and now you want to dismantle everything around me. Tell me why he took that blade and took her head clean off of her shoulders, and while the head was on the ground, she's still running her mouth. She's still running the mouth, speaking high Valerian, okay? And I was like, Damon, this is sick. Harrenhal is cursed, and it is playing with his mind. Sir Simon Strong wakes him up in the morning and says, listen, there's a raven. All right. Aegon is on the move. Sir Kristen Cole has got Rosby, Stokesworth, Duskendale. He's got everything. All right. Kristen's army is tripled in strength and likely headed to Harrenhal. And we may not be able to hold him back. Okay. Damon in that moment asks for Lord Tully. They send the grandson. Okay. Why'd they do that? To meet Damon in person. And he's like, telling this sob story. Damon's like, bump all that. I ain't trying to hear all that. Can you make decisions in place of your grandfather? And he says, no. He said, well, what good are you? What good are you? Damon is a master manipulator and knows how to make somebody feel a certain type of way. This is not the last, I believe, that we've seen of Oscar Tully. We'll just see what happens going forward. Meanwhile, Rhaenys is at the dock because, the sea snake is getting ready, getting his ships ready as usual. And she bumps into Alan. And he says, my lady, she says, well, if you're going to be formal, just call me princess. And I said, I know that's right. And he said, you're the one who saved my husband, I hear. And he says, yes, princess. And she says, you're very, no one ever told me you were so comely. You must have a beautiful mother. In this moment, I knew it was what I thought it was. Alan is Corliss's bastard son from another woman, honey. I don't know when he had a chance to be unfaithful, probably when he was out to sea or something like that. But basically, Rhaenys has a conversation with him and it's like, it's not his fault what you did to get him. All right, go ahead and give him titles and lands. He deserves it. Okay. And in that moment, it's like, Rhaenys, you a real one, sis. You a real one, knowing that young man had nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Um, Bela is calling Rhaenys to Dragonstone, and so she lets Corlys know because Rhaenys ain't gonna do nothing without letting her hubby know. And I'm here for the bond that they have at this point, apparently through thick and thin, because he was out there spreading it low and dipping it wide. Okay, Allison meeting with the Grand Maester, honey, to get her some moon tea. And why is that? Because that heifer let Sir Kristen Cole just rummage and shoot the club up. That's why. All right. Just how you grown and still don't have no sense. Talk about it's only been a couple weeks since my king died, but you already know you pregnant. That's how I know she's scandalous. Okay. A scandalous rat. And so she puts on this whole show. This is for a young lady. And he's like, if she's in need, the maester says, if she's in need of anything, let me know because this will make her sick to the stomach. And Allison said, I'll keep a special eye on her. Allison, we know it's you. You look disheveled. You look a mess. You look like you're going through withdrawals. Was the Krispy Kreme D that amazing? Was it that amazing? Just sloppy. Just sloppy. And so before the Grand Maester walks out though, she says, "Do you believe that King Viserys wanted Aegon to rule?" And the Grand Maester said, "He ain't tell me that. He ain't tell me that. He ain't tell me that." And leaves politely. And I said, "That's right, black man. You better tell the truth, okay?" Rhaenyra and Bayla were at Rhaenyra's small council. She's still not there. MIA, okay? Bayla is reporting back everything that she's seen. Basically, Sir Kristen Cole is traveling and he has an army. He's getting stronger and stronger. He's only traveling at night. And Rhaenyra's small council just sucks. Right? They really rue the idea that Rhaenyra is queen. They really, really hate it. And so they're, just talking over Bayla. You should have taken him out. And, she's like, well, you get on a dragon and you show me how to do it then. Because clearly the queen said take no action. All right. And so just as things are kind of getting crazy, Rhaenys is like, well, I'm trying to hold the council in order. And they're like, Princess, why should you have any sway any more than any of the rest of us? And then we see Corlys, honey, come in and get everybody together and says, listen, this ain't the time to talk about or try to gain power, right? We need to get something done until Rhaenyra gets back. And Jace is there just watching, standing up for Bayla because that's his boo thing. You know what I mean? So Kristen Cole is a menace to society. Okay, we actually get a glimpse of him putting the smack down to other houses and those that won't bend the knee. He's taking their heads, like Ned Stark in Game of Thrones, but not as noble. Okay. And before he takes this man's head, though, he says, listen, yours will come in kind, Sir Kristen Cole. And I said, amen to that. Amen to that. So after that's done, Sir Gawain, Allison's brother, and him are talking, and he's like, okay, we have to lead the band northeast. And Gawain says, Harrenhal is west. And Sir Kristen Cole's like, I know, trying to keep a secret, bruh. Tell the people what Gawain gonna do. Just, I don't know, the guise of suspicion. Ooh, this plan was so good and so deep. Shut up. Aegon is pissed, okay, because Daemon has Harrenhal, and he's pissed at Larys, and he says, this is your castle, okay? And Larys said, listen, that castle ain't gonna do nothing but drive Daemon up a wall, all right? And I hold the purse strings and the coins, so if it don't drive him crazy, it's gonna exhaust all of his resources because it's in such disrepair. And so Aegon's like, people need to tell me these things. People need to tell me these things. And so Aegon is like, well, Sir Kristen needs to turn back. They need to turn back around. And Aemond, honey, is like, here's the plan, okay? So Kristen Cole is going to take Rook's Rest because once they get that, Dragonstone will not be accessible by land anymore, okay? So it'll draw the dragons out. We'll have to have a battle of the dragons, apparently, but there won't be any way for any armies to get to them or for them to get to any or mount any sort of defense, really. And he's like, it's a genius plan. And Aegon's like, so y'all are conspiring behind my back? Baby, that's when Aemon comes out with the High Valyrian. And he's like, would you rather do something else, King? Just tell the council what you want to do. They're waiting, for your every word on bated breath. And again, I knew when Aegon has been messing with Aemond since they were kids. He was siding with the strong boys, okay? Jason, Luke, when they would make fun of Aemond. I knew it was going to come full circle, especially when we were at the pleasure house and he roasted them and Aemond walked out of that butt booty naked with his little micro pain, all right? I knew what it was. I knew what it was. I'm just going to set it right there. Okay. And so Aegon relents, okay, whatever you guys say, basically. And Allison's missing, right, from the council. And so Larys decides he's going to go see her. And immediately he knows the secret. He sees the moon tea. And we all know what that's for. She's rubbing her belly, honey, making a makeshift heating pad with the dragon stones. Okay. And so, he's like, I don't think we should have to sacrifice our whims and desires. And I'm like, if he asked this heifer to take off them granny medieval kitten heels, I'm going to be too through. But basically, they're just talking about the war efforts and all of that. And he's like, the king made his choice. And, she's like, I'm not so sure. And of course, she got all the books out because now she wants to know about the Song of Ice and Fire. So she reading all she can because she knows she done effed up. And she says basically at this point, whatever Viserys's will is means nothing, right? At this point, because the realm is going to do what the realm is going to do, right? His intentions died with him. Rhaenyra is going to fight to be queen. Aegon's going to fight to be king, and whoever wins the throne wins the throne. It don't really matter what Viserys wanted. And yeah, because you did this, Alicent. She's like, so many people are going to be unalived, and they are because of you, Alicent, because you're simple. I mean, no other word for it, right? And Larry says, "Well, are you worried about Sir Kristen?" She's like, "All of us should be praying for the peace. All of us should be paying for his safe return." And he's like looking at her sideways. And this was in a moment that I wanted to really think about Laris's true intentions. Is he enough? Well, I've always said that he is the worst of both Littlefinger and the Spider, in my opinion, right? But is he more Littlefinger going for his own ambitions, or is he more like the Spider, which was all about the good of the realm? I ask you that. Put it in the comments below and let me know your thoughts, okay? All right. Now we're back at Harrenhal, honey, and Damon and the witch, because it all came out. She is a witch. But I'm wondering if she's like a three-eyed raven too, like Bran, because she said, "Oh no," she's like, "I'm a barn owl forced to be a woman," and I'm like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "You're strange," but he's enthralled by her. Something about her fascinates him, and I'm just wondering if they get Bucky naked and she gets some of his blood or other bodily fluids, what's she gonna do with him? Because we know that that's what the witches do. Okay, and he basically says, "So you're the maester now?" She's like, "Yep." He hightailed it out of here. He couldn't get used to Harrenhal. It's cursed. And we use the same trees that have the spirits in them to make your bed. That's probably why you can't sleep. And then gives him something to drink. And why does he drink it? Next thing we know, he's up at a table because he had decided he wanted to meet with the Blackwoods, right? Because I think that they were the ones that were going for Rhaenyra. They were riding for her, and he didn't forgot why he was there. Forgot while he was there. But back in the dream or whatever it was, if it was reality, the dream, whatever, she told him his whole life story. She said, Alice, the witch, that you and your wife are quarreling. Okay, she's the heir. You feel like she stole that from you, and what makes it worse is that she's a woman. Okay. He meets with the Blackwoods, and they basically say that they will pledge fealty if he brings the Queen's justice to the Brackens. We know that's an age old quarrel. It's really a side mission because I don't know what that's really going to do. It'll be about how big the Blackwoods armies are. You know what I mean? So now back with Aegon's small council, he's bored, honey. And they're like, yeah, they're calling Sir Kristen the Kingmaker now. And I'm like, ugh. And so we find out that he didn't have the library removed. And Allison's mad because we know now she's trying to read everything she can, which she didn't do before. I said, what you been doing in the castle all these years? Read a book, heifer. Maybe that would have made you smarter. You know what I'm saying? Do that. And so basically, she says, I was just hoping that once we got you in this role as king, that you would do what needed to be done and that you could live up, in some small way to your father. You know what I mean? And basically, he's like, watch your mouth. Because she's basically like, you're failing at it. And my thing is, it's too late for your hopes and dreams, Allison. You did this. You knew he wasn't equipped. You knew he was fragile, and you ain't no kind of mama and didn't raise him. None of your kids. That's why they're like the way they are. Okay. And she says, you have no idea the sacrifices we've made to put you on the throne. And now we need you to do what's needed of you. And that's nothing. And all Aegon wants from his mama is a hug. You hear me? A hug. And he probably do whatever she says, but she's just not even smart enough to know how to manipulate properly. You know what I mean? She's not a good mama. She's not a good manipulator. I'm honestly wondering what the point of Allison is. She could go next, okay? So Kristen, Gwaine is tired, honey. He's tired, and he's scared of these dragons. And Gawain warns him. He's like, listen, we're going to go and attack Rook's Rest in the day. He's like, do you have a death wish, man? And he warns him, but Kristen don't care. And at this point, I just wanted at least one of Sir Kristen Cole's eyebrows to be singed off. I know they ain't gonna take him out yet, but I wanted just something to happen to him. Maybe his booty burnt, maybe his nether regions singed a little bit, scorched earth a little bit. That's all I wanted. And so now we're back at Rhaenyra's small council, and Jace is like, they're just trying to figure out what to do next, okay? And then all of a sudden, Rhaenyra back out of the woodwork, honey. She comes strolling in all leisurely. And I've been at King's Landing, girl. You've been everywhere you didn't need to be. And why didn't you have a dragon stash so you could have got back faster? Okay. Jace is pissed. Everybody's pissed. They tell her about Rook's Rest. And I'm like, at this point, you better send a dragon. And she's like, I'll do one better. I'm not just gonna send a dragon. I'm going to ride the dragon. Girl, shut up. Shut up. I can't see these dragons out here dying on the battlefield and I'm not on them, girl. And so then what happens when you fall off your dragon? You know what I mean? Just silly. So we know what's going to happen. Rhaenys is like, I'll go. Send me. I'll go. I'll go. Jace wanted to go, but you can't go. And all the while, White Worm is lurking. What is White Worm up to? Are her intentions pure? Drop it in the comments below for me. Uh, I know Rhaenys, okay? And in this moment, I'm thinking Rhaenys better live. She better live. She better live, okay? And Aegon's back at the castle and he's a drunk. And he gets the bright idea, honey, that he's going to put his name on this battle. He is going to go to war. And I'm like, you're a mess. You're a mess. While all this is going on, and everyone's preparing for battle, Rhaenyra pulls Jace to the side and is like, as an heir, if something happens to me, you would be heir. Just like my father told me, the Song of Ice and Fire. And she goes on about how who sits the Iron Throne, the heir is a protector, against, like or common enemies and threats, you know what I mean? And so then she goes on to tell him the Song of Ice and Fire, which we're not privy to in the conversation. But then we see Aegon get his dragon Sunfire, and Rhaenys gets her dragon Meleys. And y'all, this was such a beautiful moment, and I think really gave us insight into the relationship between a dragon and their rider in this moment. Even Aegon and Sunfire have this beautiful connection. And of course, Rhaenys and Meleys have this beautiful connection as they go to war. And it was, we're connected. We're in this together. I don't know. It was something about it that was just really kind of heartwarming, right? And so Aemond and Vhagar already know what's going on. And so they're on the battlefield. And why? Vhagar hiding in the forest with Aemond, because apparently that was part of Sir Krispy Kreme's plan, because they figured Rhaenyra was going to send a dragon. And so Rhaenys comes and she starts doing her big one, okay? But soon pops up Aegon, and everybody looks up like this freaking idiot. And they're like, did you know the king was coming? And Sir Kristen was like, no, but the king is here. Put on your best face forward, and the king is here. The king is here. And Aemon's like, idiot. And honey, he says, Vhagar, stand down for right now. We chilling. And I was like, oh, Aemond. Oh, Aemond. I had a feeling what was going to happen, but I didn't quite know. Okay. Uh, and so, and so Aegon comes up and he and Rhaenys are into it. They fighting, they battling, they doing the most. And I'm like, oh Lord. And Sunfire is a small little frail dragon, but y'all know I'm here for the dragon battle. All of a sudden, we see Aemond with Vhagar, a huge war dragon, roll up. And this is while Rhaenys and Aegon are fighting. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord, what is about to happen? And as soon as I hear Aemond say Dracarys, I'm like, oh Lord, Rhaenys, not Rhaenys, not Rhaenys. I don't really care about Aegon. Aegon face lights up. He's like, oh, my brother's here, baby. That brother wasn't for you, because when I tell you he burnt him out the sky, he burnt him out the sky and went on about his business like he wasn't even wanting Rhaenys. And my thing is, Rhaenys, that would have been my cue to leave, sis. I know you down for the cause, you down for your cousin, all that. I get it, but go home to your husband. Go home to your husband. Okay, that's all I could think of, y'all. That's all I could think. Why are you still here? And so she's doing damage. She's getting the forces together. Vagar and Aemon doing their own thing, honey. But the king down and out. Aegon is down and out. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, what's gonna happen? Rhaenys back into the fray. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, because we know Vagar don't play no games. Sure enough, y'all, they done killed off Rhaenys. They done killed her off. Vagar ain't the dragon to play with, and Meleese is cute and all that, but still not as big as Vagar. And what makes it so sad is that was her daughter's dragon. And I don't even know if Aemon wanted to take her out. Honestly, Aemon just wanted to be king. That's all I think. Aemon just wanted to be king and also wanted to get his brother back because Aegon ain't good for nothing. Everybody knew Aegon ain't good for nothing. Next thing we see, so Krispy Kreme is picking himself up off the battlefield filled with smoke. Gwaine is marching on Rook's East, honey, or Rook's Nest. He's marching on that. And so Kristen's trying to find the king. He finds the king and he finds Aemon with the blade out. And he's like, what happened? And he says, look at him. Go on over here and look at him. And so, I mean, I think Aegon's gone because I don't know. How do you recover from dragon like fire, you know what I mean, and falling out of the sky? Y'all let me know in the comments below. But you guys, overall, this episode really was pissing me off up until about the 30-minute mark, and then that's when we started to get the action. My biggest request for this episode was dragon fighting and fire, and so I got that, but I need more from Rhaenyra still. She's about to piss me off. Honestly, I feel bad for Aegon because he ain't deserve to go out like that. He ain't have no chance with a mama like that. He ain't have no chance. And this wasn't for him. She did this to him. She's the reason. Aemon, expert move. Expert move, my guy. I ain't even mad at Aemon. But now you're a kinslayer. Aemon, kinslayer. That's not a good look. Not a good title. I thought he was going to take off Sir Krispy Kreme's head, but Sir Kristen's been making all the right moves in battle. Maybe he really is a great war strategist. You guys let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And I will see y'all tomorrow night for the live where me and the panel will be chopping it up about all things House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 4, the Red Dragon, and the Gold. See you guys in the next video. Bye.